This is Opinions of a Social Outcast. I'm your host, Oso. Just one voice talking into the void, saying the thing I usually keep to myself. Thanks for showing up. Sometimes I think about how far we've drifted from what it means to really live. Not just exist, not just survive, but truly live. We depend on systems that don't even know our names. We eat food grown thousands of miles away by people we'll never meet. And when those systems break, when those shelves empty or the prices rise, we panic. But maybe that panic is a message. Maybe it's the earth whispering, "You've forgotten how to care for yourselves." We live in a world that worships convenience. Click to buy, click to eat, click to be happy. Everything is instant, effortless, and empty. Convenience makes life easier, but it also makes us forgetful. Forgetful of where things come from, forgetful of what real effort feels like, and forgetful that once upon a time, our survival depended on skill and not Wi-Fi. And what's strange is, this comfort we've built doesn't make us peaceful. It makes us anxious, restless, and dependent. Because deep down, we all know the truth. If the system ever stopped working, most of us wouldn't even know what to do. That thought should awaken something ancient in us. A spark that remembers a time when we did know. There was a time when people didn't have to call themselves homesteaders. They just lived. They knew the seasons, not from an app, but from the sky. They could read the soil, sense the rain, and understand that time itself was a circle, not a deadline. Now, we've become tourists on our own planet. We walk through grocery aisles instead of gardens, and scroll through screens instead of skies. We've been taught that growing food is too hard, that making things by hand is a waste of time. But that's just another illusion, a convenient lie to keep us dependent. Because if you can't feed yourself, you will always need someone else's permission to live. Growing your own food isn't about rejecting modern life. It's about remembering who you are beneath it. The first time you put your hands into the dirt, something happens. The noise quiets, your breath slows, and you realize that the ground beneath you has always been waiting patiently for your return. That moment is sacred because for the first time in a long time, you are not consuming, you are creating. A tomato you grow yourself will taste different, not because it's organic, but because it's alive with the energy of your care. It's proof that your small efforts still matter in this chaotic world. And this isn't just about food, it's about faith. Even the Bible talks about planting without fear. In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verses 4 through 6, it says, "He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good." I've always loved that passage because it captures the uncertainty of living and the courage it takes to act anyway. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. The right moment doesn't come. You create it with your hands and your heart. That is what faith is. It's planting seeds you might never see bloom, trusting that God still honors the effort. You don't need acres of land or years of experience. You can start with a single pot of soil near a window, one seed, one act of independence. Every time something grows, you'll remember you are capable, you're connected, and you're not powerless. And maybe the more we remember that, the more we'll begin to live like we're meant to, not as slaves to convenience, but as caretakers of creation. They call people like us outcasts because we question what others accept. We don't chase trends, we seek truth. But maybe the outcasts are the ones still awake. Because while the world scrolls and buys and forgets, we're learning to grow again, to build something lasting. When you grow your own food, you're not just feeding your body, you're feeding your soul. You're remembering that survival was never supposed to be bought, it was shared. And maybe one day, if enough of us return to the soil, the world will remember too. So this week, I challenge you, go outside, touch the earth, smell the rain, plant one seed, literal or symbolic, and let it remind you that you can create. Because self-sufficiency isn't isolation. It's a quiet way of saying, I trust what God has already provided. And that trust is the root of all freedom. This is Opinions of a Social Outcast. Until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and keep planting what matters.